And we are live. Welcome to the show. This is the How to Be a Host podcast. Super thrilled to have you here. I know, we've connected a while ago, so it feels really good to reconnect in this fashion. How's it going, Chaz? You wanted to start by giving us a quick soundbite about your background. Like, tell us, what do you do? Like, what brought you here?
Thanks so much. Well, of course, thank you for having me on this podcast. I'm super excited to, number one, connect with you, and then, of course, with your audience as well. A little bit about me. So, funny enough, I'm actually in New York City, although I typically reside in Los Angeles. So it's full circle for me because this is the city where I started off. I've worked in the fashion industry, fashion, beauty, and entertainment for 10 plus years. And during COVID 2021 of June, yesterday was my year of leaving New York. I decided to take a leap of faith and transition to the West Coast. Which really was the definition of a leap. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I packed my bags. I told my parents that I was leaving. My mother, she is a Cancer. Her birthday is the 27th of June. So she joined me in going to LA to celebrate her birthday. And I just told my folks I was buying a one-way ticket and I was going to figure my way out through the help of God. And so that leap landed me in several positions where I was able to utilize my skill sets, my transferable skill sets from all of the industries and freelance opportunities that I did in New York. One that kept coming up was really being a consultant, right? Consulting between partnerships, PR, and sales. And so I did exactly that. One company, I was chief of staff. Another one, I was head of partnerships, which is Sknmuse, we'll talk about. I also launched a brand by the name of Soti during the time it was running, and I was head of strategic business and culture. But I think today we're focusing on Sknmuse. So I have been operating as the head of partnership for Sknmuse now for 3 years. Which has been a tremendous opportunity. And yeah, I'm so excited to be here to shine some light on my learnings and a little bit of the skills that I bring to the table within my role.
Wow, wow. It sounds like a real full circle moment for you.
Yeah.
Um, and you have a resume that's really impressive. It blows me away. So congrats on all of the success you found with that.
Thank you.
So can you kind of give me a quick rundown about Sknmuse? Like, what's that about?
Yeah, so everyone loves to ask that question because they see we do so many cool things. We have some products, but it's like, so who are y'all actually? So Sknmuse is a premium beauty brand. Our amazing founder, Esne, is from Nigeria. And so what we've been really doing is we've been inspired by the West African beauty practices. We use 5 of the richest ingredients in the world to create body care rituals that give the daily moments of sensory and stimulation. And we've really been leveraging cultural practices to enhance our wind down routine and lowering the access barriers to luxury beauty for the modern day consumer. The mission at
Wow.
Sknmuse is a tool for daily rest and ease. Our consumers are constantly being on, the to-dos and the responsibilities over the years of quality life. And so this is a time for them really to wind down and to appreciate themselves, as everyone is not able to make frequent vacations and rest. But with Sknmuse, you can take 30 minutes each day to really check in with yourself.
Wow. Wow. Well, shout out to Nigeria. I'm Nigerian.
Nice,
So
nice,
I
nice.
think I really love how you guys really brought in that West African, culture into the brand. I think that's really amazing. Um,
Thanks.
yeah, so I love what you guys are doing so far. I checked it out myself. Really great products that you guys offer. So I'm a bit curious though, just given just everything you guys have built. Like, what fascinated you about the beauty space?
What fascinated me most about the beauty space, I would have to say, when I joined board with Sknmuse, was really the cultural influence, right? Um, beauty standards and are wide across cultures and exploring these differences and enriching the opportunities. But for me, it was really about what we can do. I saw that Sknmuse was at the helm of building a community. And so with Ezine, I wanted to be intentional on amplifying and magnifying Sknmuse's voice, right? And so I knew that we can do that with some of the partners that she was already having conversations with, and with the robust network that I've cultivated between London, New York, and Los Angeles. I knew that there was an opportunity for us to really take advantage of the beauty industry and where it was at during 2021.
Wow. 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 Okay. So these are partnerships that, you've locked in. So was that always the plan to kind of go global with the market?
It wasn't, no. To be honest, when I first started off with Sknmuse, it's a very funny story. So as I said, I transitioned to Los Angeles with my mom. I was good friends and working on a previous project with Ambrose, who is our CCO at Sknmuse. And so by happenstance, told him I was coming to LA, going to live there for at least 2 months. And he invited me over to host my mother and I. And so my mom purchased Sknmuse product that day. The
Oh,
next
wow.
day, we're getting ready and I needed to moisturize my body with something. And she was like, oh, here's the Sknmuse. Just try this, right? Not just try this, but try this. It's really good, after she was raving about it. And so I tried the product and instantly, genuinely fell in love with the way that the product glided on my body, how well moisturized I was, especially coming from the East Coast where there's humidity and going to the
Yeah.
West Coast where there isn't much humidity, or if any at all. I was shocked. I was wowed. And I knew that the product was really great and the packaging was compelling as well. So for me, my mind went to, this product needs to be put in the right hands so that the brand message and the product attributes can be amplified. And I was
Yeah.
confident that I was that person. So initially, when I joined Sknmuse, I was head of PR, and we had great success there, from Vogue to Elle, to the Departures, to Crown Magazine. I mean, the list just goes on. There were so many podcasts and um, speaking engagements that were coming forward in terms of us as a team, being a part of, and people wanting to know more about the brand. So it was very successful. I hit the ground running, but
Wow.
slowly but surely, I'm not even gonna say slowly but surely, quickly, we found out by December that my lane was really under partnerships. And that was because all of the folks that I was networking with, and just, getting intros from my network in New York, it was really all these opportunities. The first opportunity that we had in terms of activations and partnerships was with American Express, and that was the Buy Black Bazaar, which took place in December 2021, and it just took off from there.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That sounds really impressive. So when you joined the team, that you were really just captivated by it. You were sucked in. It drew you in.
It was an honest customer feedback. Yes,
Okay. That's honestly the best kind of
it
feedback.
is. It is,
Yeah.
truthfully.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So, I mean, we know the beauty industry is huge. It's massive. Massive opportunity, despite, all of the different products and brands out there in the marketplace. There's still massive opportunity there.
Hmm.
Like, like what does it take to actually be in the beauty space today in 2024?
Transparently, that's changing. The beauty
Yeah.
industry that we entered into was so different because it was at the helm of, you know, the companies providing DEI initiatives and grants, and making sure that they were doing their part, as well as us coming out of the pandemic, and us as a Black culture in a community, in a world, being excited about what was next. So you saw such an uprise in entrepreneurs launching their businesses under the beauty umbrella, which was beautiful, right? But now that we are in 2024, we're on the precipice of elections. Companies are are pulling back grants and are repositioning their money. We're hearing this every day to even colleges. It looks very different, right? It looks
Wow.
very different. And from my readings and from my conversations with industry professionals, it's still, I would have to say, being understood in terms of what is next for the beauty industry. What I can say is that I am excited to see that businesses like Sknmuse still exist, and that's by our communities showing up for us. But in terms of the financial support that we have been able to get through grants, those are no longer being supplied, right?
Yeah.
They're very scarce during this time. So you asked that question, and to be honest, I don't have an answer for that question. I think that it's about being abreast on the opportunities that are out there while still remaining true to your brand morals and values, right?
Right.
That's the answer that I would give. But I do think that it is changing, and you can see that with how many businesses, specifically Black businesses, have had to close their doors within the last month because
Wow.
of the lack of financial support, right? And it just
Yeah.
being a very hard time for businesses to thrive within this economy.
Yeah. I mean, I know the economy on a macro level, it's tragic right now.
Yes.
And we're feeling it across all sectors and all industries. Um, so I can only imagine the frustration that comes with that. And as an executive and a business leader, we're tasked to figure out how to navigate this environment where we don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely something I empathize with. But how how has it been for you guys specifically? How have have you been able to like navigate it? Do you feel like it's been affecting the way you're going to grow going into 2024 or 2025?
Good question. What I would tell you is this: we've been super intentional, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of this. In 2021, Sknmuse puts on an annual brunch called the Muse Brunch, which is so exciting. We love it, right? And it's
Yeah.
because it's a time period where we get investors and creatives and entrepreneurs in a room in the hopes of creating an ambiance where everyone's genuinely networking with one another while enjoying great
Mm-hmm.
music, festivities, drinks, a little bit of dancing, and of course, looking
Okay.
the part, right?
Yeah.
We decided not to do a Lemuse brunch in 2022, and we did one in 2023. And that was because we realized that as a team, we were running so fast, we were putting the carriage before the horse in terms
Yeah.
of trying to make sure it happened before the year closed out. And our CEO, right, sat down with all of us and said, I understand that if we put this on, we will be successful. But are we
Yeah.
really going to make the mark and hit the deliverables and KPIs that we want to, or that we can if we like added a stretch? And for me, it's been those, or not even for me, for us as a team, it's really been those conversations of sometimes taking a pause to make sure that we are within our jurisdiction, right, as a
Yeah.
brand,
Yeah.
and not trying to over expand or not, doing things for the right reason, and that ROI is going to be there. And I'm
Yeah.
confident that with our ability to pivot as a team and keep the main thing,
Yeah.
Sknmuse will survive this test of time that the economy is in right now. It really takes, the word that I've been using even in my personal life is being agile, right? I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
you have to have the insight and foresight to
Mm-hmm.
understand where you need to make a pivot, right?
Yeah.
That's business.
100%. And I think, especially when we're in a marketplace like this, an environment like this, it's about having focus.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're staying lean, being cost effective, and you're focusing on things that's actually going to drive the business results you're actually looking for.
Absolutely.
So I love when I talk to teams and they're navigating this environment, but it all comes back down to the basics, right? How do we focus on driving growth, driving revenue, and reduce cost spending. I think that's like a common theme that I've been hearing. So don't worry, you're not alone with that.
Yeah.
100%. But I want to segue a little bit into, your marketing mix, given this environment. What's your strategy going forward? How are you marketing now?
That's a really good question. Marketing mix for us. What we have been doing for sure is, and I will be very transparent and say that our CCO can really talk to this because he's been leading the marketing within the last couple of months. But we are making sure that all of our deliverables that we have continued to do are being done to the best quality that they can. So, the email marketing, definitely the campaigns, reintroducing new consumers to the campaigns that we've previously done, as well as, of course, making sure that our .com, our Instagram, all of our social media handles are fully in alignment with our of what we're releasing and what has been released for sure.
Right.
But what I would say most importantly is like making sure that people understand when we're marketing our product, the product attributes, right? Like, it's very easy within the marketing umbrella to get kind of lofty. And for us, we want to make sure that at the end, I said, keeping the main thing, making sure that people understand why they should be purchasing a product. That will always be the helm of what we're making sure is being done.
Yeah, they say marketing is telling the same brand story
Absolutely, over
1,000 different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
As long as you're still honing in on what that core message is, it's important to not really go off track with that. And I love that, that's something that you guys have figured out early on. And I've watched your branding, been on your website. All of your marketing assets looks amazing, and I love it.
Thanks.
So, I mean, given this environment, I know you've done some experiential activations in the past. I've attended one of them in the past at the Highlight Room. What's been your strategy with that? How has that impacted growth?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that experiential activations are powerful, right? The strategy with engaging customers on a deeper level, creating memorable brand experiences, and fostering strong emotional connections is always at the helm of my thoughts. Anytime that we're doing an activation, a pop-up, whether there's product or not, right? I would run down the list because I did make a little note of like what I'm always looking for, right? And that's brand awareness and engagement, product education, building community, data collection and insights, shareable content, and then the last one that I would say is that we really look for exclusivity, right? But what I really wanted to hone in on is because you attended the Highlight Room, which is such a perfect example, and I'm glad that you were there and you had a good time, is really about the community piece, right? For me, that is the first thought that I have in regards to how are we going to make this activation successful, right? I think about usually a requirement of mine is that there's a walkthrough that's done so that I can envision with the team when our community arrives, right? What are their experience? What is the experience going to be from when they walk in the door to when they walk around the event, right? In total. And then from when they leave the event, in addition to the next day follow-up email. That is my thought process in terms of activations and like building a strategy based off of that, right? Because I do come from the retail world. I started off with Vince in retail, and I had an amazing president who was Danish. And she always made sure that we understood this is a journey. This is a journey, and you need to make sure that along the journey, the customer, all of their senses are heightened. And so I have adopted that in my professional career, where no matter where I'm at, whether it's a beauty brand, a fashion brand, or wherever, tech, right? Everything is a journey. You're bringing someone into an experience. And so you have the opportunity to, magnify, amplify whatever you choose to throughout that journey. So I would definitely say like that's number one.
Okay.
Community and building. Of course, product education is another one for me. While you
Okay.
do have folks there that are interested in your brand, especially if they've shown up, right? Like that's your time to shine. So in
Yeah.
terms of building out an activation, we want to make sure that we are giving a clear understanding of who Sknmuse is, what products we're highlighting, why they need the product, and of course, making sure that they have at least a sample that they can take away if they decide not to purchase, but so that it's a lingering thought once they leave the event.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I love that, you have like such a streamlined strategy on what metrics, KPIs you want to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to really set those benchmarks to be able to make sure that you're getting the return from every activation that you are doing. Um, what I really enjoy is when I look around cross sectors, I love the innovation that's happening. Whether you're in fashion, beauty, entertainment, there's just so much innovation around cross industry collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, can you talk to me about uh, why did you choose to uh, work with hospitality and nightlife brands to create these activations for your audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about it from a two-prong approach. The first prong approach is it makes sense. Skim uses under the beauty umbrella, and so hospitality is a huge opportunity for us. It's an industry that we've been targeting for quite some time now in regards to hotel partnerships, whether that's us partnering with them and putting little samples in the hotel rooms, to even Airbnb. When Issa Rae, I don't know if you remember this, but Issa Rae had a Airbnb home that was in not Inglewood, um, not Inglewood. What's the other historic Black neighborhood?
Was it Baldwin Hills?
Baldwin Hills, exactly. Yes. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we partnered with her in Airbnb during that experience, and we curated a special assortment for her in the bathroom that's there. So it makes sense. That's an industry that we are geared to tackle, and soon we'll be hopefully announcing that we partner with an official hotel partner. But for me, I have to say that it was more so the word of destructive. I
Okay.
love to disrupt industries and think about what industries can we partner with that are adjacent, right?
Yeah.
To magnify our voice and our brand, and also to be introduced to a new community slash target audience. And so for me, that's what the highlight room or the dream hotel, that's why we have continued to nurture and partner with those entities, is because that's
Hmm.
exactly what it's doing. And for the most part, I know people are going to watch this, but there's no competition, right? It
Yeah.
was really about nurturing in an authentic way, nurturing those relationships and understanding those partners ROIs look like and what their roadmap is in regards to their DEI initiative, or
Oh, wow.
their uh, target audience that they want to tap into. And so that's why you have seen the success with like Tao Group. We've done two
Yeah.
successful summer, I think it was before, it was Summer Fridays, I believe, but I think they may have changed the numbers, but like
Yeah.
summer activations is what I would say with them.
Wow, wow, wow. I think that was really impressive. And is that like a part of, your pipeline creation for you when you do these activations at these properties? Is that the end goal? Is to build that relationship to eventually get that property to carry the brand?
Yeah, yes, most. I mean, of course, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
sales always help. Like so I'll
Yeah.
definitely say yes, sales always help. But
Yeah.
I would say more importantly, it's really about the brand being able to see how we show up, and not only how we as a brand show up, but how our community shows up for us. So
Uh-huh.
you attended last year, but the first uh activation that we did at the highlight room, right? It was on a Friday, and it was, I want to say that we maybe had like a cap at 100 people, And the last year's activation, it was on a Saturday because we outdid ourselves and our community showed up, and it was
Wow.
probably about, I want to say, 250 people there, and
Wow.
we were supposed to share that space with someone else, but you know how Black people get together, and it
Yeah,
quickly
they
but
go.
surely became
Oh
our
yeah.
event, right?
Yeah.
But that's a good problem to have, and I'm able to speak back to numbers when I'm having conversations with their point of contact in
Yeah.
regards of why I think that this year it needs to fully be us, right? Is because we
Yeah.
have proven how we show up and how people support us.
Yeah, and I could be a testament to that. I showed up to one of them, and it was amazing. Really good job at that. I loved it,
Thanks. Thank you.
one
Thank
hundred
you.
percent. So, and I'm glad that you actually identified that there is a big opportunity for brands to tap into nightlife culture,
Hmm.
and really can connect with these consumers in nightlife. You know, they have both high intent and the purchasing power to actually buy and shop
Hmm.
brands, right?
Hmm.
Um, what brands need to know is that these consumers care deeply about their appearance. They care so much about the way they look, the way they dress, the way they feel. So that's like a massive opportunity to really reach an audience that's already primed to shop and buy. And
Absolutely.
I love how Sknmuse really kind of identified that, and you've already started to hone in and narrow down your strategy on how you're going to attack that. Um, so let me ask you this though: um, can you talk a little bit more about um, the numbers behind what type of engagement you saw with an activation like that, the one you did at the highlight room?
Hmm.
Was that more of a brand play, a revenue play, or was it a bit of both?
So it is a little bit of both. Speaking a little bit about the numbers, thank you. Now that I was speaking about it, it's coming back to me. The reason why the highlight room has always kept Sknmuse top of mind, and we've partnered with the highlight room several times throughout the year, and the Dream Hotel and Tile Group, right? Is
Yeah,
because the first event that we had, they had been trying to do and I'm just getting context, they had been trying to do a successful Summer Friday launch, and
oh,
every brand would bring a couple of people, but we were the first brand that brought that many people and that had that great of a time because we brought our own DJ. So they were wow because we were able to unlock a key or door that they were not able to tap into, right? And so that was a really big learning for us in terms of the nightlife, right? And the
yeah,
first one was Friday during the day. The one that you went to last year went longer into the evening time, right?
yeah,
So yeah, so for sure. What I would say though, is it a brand play or is it a revenue play? Transparently, the highlight room is a brand play for us, right? Because we're
got it.
not selling products at this event space due to the rules and regulations of the highlight room, respectfully.
Yeah,
So that's a brand play. But even though we're not selling product there, I truly do believe that it is a revenue play as well.
yeah,
Because if you give someone an authentic, dope experience with your brand, they're going to want to invest in what they just experienced, right?
mm-hmm.
And so you have to just get creative. Something that we do for sure is, we'll hand out a discount code, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, you can't have instant gratification of your purchase now, but we want to give you this code that lasts up to a week, right? And you can go online and purchase whatever, you may be interested in. From our product line. But I
yeah,
will always say my focus, and of course, it will make sense during this time period, but it is focused on making sure that wherever we're showing up, that's money being spent. So anyone that's a
yeah,
wise business owner or business leader will understand that there should be money there's reciprocity there, right? As we're spending
yeah,
money, there needs to be money that's coming into the bank. So I do try to make sure and lead with that it is not always revenue first, but that revenue
yeah.
is still top of mind.
Got it. Got it. I love the idea of just thinking about it as an end-to-end funnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to drive your audiences, top of funnel to experience your content online, and then you kind of bring them more further down funnel with these activations, right? You built that deeper connection, that community.
Mm-hmm.
They have more of a affinity towards your brand, and then you can always, uh, uh, position your marketing messaging to hit them again and get them to shop. At this point, they're ready to buy because they've engaged with your product, they've
Absolutely.
engaged with your content, they've also, engaged with your events. And I don't know about you, but I think if a customer shows up to your event, that's a high signal
Oh, for
for
sure.
for a high intent right there. So
Absolutely.
you can kind of already gauge a group of people who's primed and ready to buy. And
Right.
I think you've done that really well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I will add or highlight more so what you just said. If someone is coming to your event, they really love you. They promise you
Yeah.
hard. Because I mean, time, especially in LA, if you're fighting traffic,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and you're spending your off day with us, like, yeah, no, we go together real bad.
Oh yeah, real bad, real bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think and that's a gem right there that I hope like other brands who do tune into this episode really kind of take away and kind of understand that having that strong connection with your audience, your customers, um, you know, throwing these events is a really good way to kind of gauge how strong your brand message is resonating with your audience. And being able to add that a part of your strategy. You want to have a nightlife strategy because,
Hmm.
these audiences, they're ready to buy, but now you want to see if they're ready to buy from you. And
Absolutely.
that's really the key part of this whole thing. So like, Chaz, I'm curious though, like, how do you, when you do these events, like, how do you measure success? How do you know that this event at the Highlight Room was a win?
Hmm. So, what I would say, number one, of course, is attendance and engagement, right? So, foot traffic, as we just were saying, making sure that you're keeping tally of how many people are attending the event, um, dwell time, track how long attendees are spending engaging in the activation, and especially if you have different setups that are there, being aware of which ones are people really engaged with, which ones do seem a little bit more boring. Interactions, count the number of interactions with staff, with products, with interactive elements. So those are all that I do during the event. Brand awareness and perception, social media mentions, monitor the volume of social media mentions, tag, shares related to the activation is always key. Um, I would definitely say conducting surveys and interviews. So something that we did at BeautyCon last year was we actually interviewed people on the spot to get
Oh, really?
real feedback. Absolutely, to get real feedback on how their experience was. From our products to the way that we showed up to
Mm.
them trying the product in real time. And that was really great because it's in the moment. And so you're able to showcase it on social media, of course, but also, too, we as leaders of the business are retaining that information and taking it back to our teams, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You could, that feedback is vital because now you got like R&D that you can just go back and if there's product changes or updates that you might want to make based on that feedback, that's critical, valuable information to really kind of have it take in. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, 100%. So like so I love how you're actually doing surveys and you've done them in real time. I think that's really great. You want to do it right then and there while you got their attention, right?
Hmm.
Get
Yep.
get them right then and there while the pot's hot, and you've
Absolutely.
done that.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely. And what I will also add too is not we do surveys during or post our activations, but we actually do host Q&As, right? So like with
yeah,
focus groups, that's the word that I was really looking for. We host
okay,
focus groups before we launch new products, or if we're thinking about changing a product. So it's the same thing, getting as much real information that you can from the target audience that is purchasing your product. That is forever vital.
100%, 100%. Because again, it's we might have hypotheses of what people might want.
Hmm.
We might think we might know, but until someone pays with a credit card and go home with your product and give you real feedback on it, that's when you're gonna know for sure if you hit the mark. And that's really good. So like, you know, I could chat about this all day long. You know what I'm saying? But you've done so well with these events, these activations, and I love how you've added that a part of your overall marketing mix. So, like, what would you say are three non-negotiables when it comes to, doing these live events? Like, what exactly is it, you know, that you need to have to make sure it's successful?
So, what I would definitely say is something that we're very conscious of before we say yes to any partner that's a new partner, especially that's coming to us and saying, hey, listen, we really want to partner with you or work with you, is our brand values and morals. We stand on those very strong, 10 toes down, right?
Yeah.
And that's because we have successfully nurtured and developed the relationship with our community. And so
Okay.
any space that we're inviting them to, there is 110% expectation of it being a safe, open, um, enjoyable establishment, right? So
Yeah.
we do our due diligence of vetting those partners that are interested in meeting with us, and vice versa, the ones that we think, oh hey, this would maybe a great opportunity, let's pitch, let's pitch this brand on X, Y, and Z, right? Before we get to that point of a pitch, we're doing our due diligence of vetting and of course approaching the conversation with several questions to make
Yeah.
sure that what their website says and who they say they are really aligns with the efforts that they're moving forward with.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love that a lot. Definitely want to work with brands that truly like inspire us, right? That we feel proud to be a part of, that we feel proud to do business with. I think, especially in today's environment, you kind of can't ignore that. It's kind of the way we move these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. Especially a lot of emerging brands can get excited to work with a Fortune 500 company, which is exciting. But going back to what I mentioned earlier during our conversation, right? Those pauses are necessary because you
Yeah,
can be partnering with someone that doesn't align with your true morals and values, and that could be detrimental to your brand because now you're releasing a PR statement. Now you're retracting the content that you posted.
hmm
And so as much as we can, we're in 2024 with technology is our friend, right? There's enough
yeah,
technology out there to help make a sound assessment in regards to which corporations are really delivering and driving their initiatives home that they should.
yeah. 100%, 100%. So, like, given your success with the partnerships you've had with Tile Group, will there be more partnerships like that? Do you
Oh,
see
but
yourself
show.
working more with nightlife and hospitality?
Well, within nightlife and hospitality, yes. I will say, it's within the beauty sector of business, you have to get a little creative, right? Because a lot of people, when you think nightlife, aren't going to purchase aside from drinks and maybe some food. So, you just have to get a little bit
Yeah,
more creative. And so, I would say yes, there will be. We just we have to be creative in addition to whichever or whoever the partner is that we're launching with. But
yeah.
it's worked for us this far. I'm confident to say that we will be having another experience at the Highlight Room this year. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so that's super exciting, and how we'll magnify or amplify our voice and our day with them will
Yeah,
be, I'm sure, amazing. And you'll be there, and all your friends will be there.
yeah,
But anything other than that, in addition to that, should I say rather, takes time to just make sure that all of those boxes are checked. Those
yeah,
I's are dotted and those T's are crossed. Just because nightlife can be a beast, but
yeah.
doesn't mean that you don't take a jab at the beast.
Yeah, I think a part of what we do here at PCN Entertainment is we try to educate people that, nightlife is hard to navigate, because as you mentioned, it's a beast. There's a lot of moving parts. It's highly segmented space. and understanding how to really navigate it to actually get what you want from a brand side. It does take a special skill set and know how to navigate that.
Mhm.
So part of what we've been doing is like really supporting brands to navigate this big space, but you also don't want to ignore it either because these consumers have a lot of upside to it, a lot of potential to it. And if brands approach it the right way, you're going to get like really massive growth from it, a lot of ROI from it. So I think just having like the right nightlife partners is
Absolutely.
really one of the best ways to navigate that for sure.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, so considering like today's landscape, I know we talked a little bit about just how things have changed on a macro level economically. Um, but given all of that turmoil, what else are you doing to get your brand message to resonate with your audience?
hmm to be, like I said before, definitely making sure that we are being consistent with all of the news that we're sharing. We have a
Yeah.
quarterly zine that goes out. We have the email marketing that goes out as well. Um, we hopefully will be having an announcement coming out this month. It's for me, I would really say it's making sure that I'm always abreast on the partners that we currently have and what they're up to speed on, but then also to fostering those relationships that are low hanging fruit, right? And
Yeah.
that's both lateral and upward connecting. I think that a lot of people, something that Issa Rae said, right? Everyone's looking to, go do that upward networking, but sometimes you can
Hmm.
partner with someone that is emerging just like yourself,
Yeah.
and you can yield a lot of success. And so for me, I can tell you that that is at the forefront of my mind in this season, especially as I'm here in New York and this beautiful city experiences four seasons. In
Yeah.
California, I think now we probably experience two. It's like either raining season or either
Yeah.
super hot.
Pretty
So,
much.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So continuing to be in the field, that's so important to me. Yesterday, I attended a 15% pledge pitch just to really network with, other entrepreneurs. And I love going to trade shows randomly,
Yeah.
to meet and see what people are doing. So keeping myself on my toes, for sure,
Hmm.
and updated. That's super important.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love how, you're keeping your finger on the pulse, watching, market trends and figuring out how to like adjust accordingly. I think all business leaders have to do that, especially
hmm
these days. Things are changing so rapidly. You
hmm
know, um, you know, from AI to, we don't know what's going to happen next. You know,
Exactly.
so like,
Exactly.
everyone's trying to like figure out how to navigate this. Now this is great. So before we kind of like wrap this up, I want to kind of give you the floor to kind of like plug anything for Sknmuse that you might want to share here, or if there's anything special that you have coming up, you know, the next 2 quarters of the year. Yeah, our audience want to know what you have in store.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. What I would say is anyone that is interested in learning about entrepreneurship, especially any female entrepreneurs that are out there, you should definitely follow our CEO. Her name is Ezine, and her Instagram name is Avenue_Z. Keep abreast on her announcements, what she's doing. Anyone in the LA area or that will be frequently visiting the LA area, our Instagram is at Sknmuse. That's skin with no I, MUS. And we're hosting several events in the LA area. We just did a pop up with 13 Loom, which is a very, very popular store right now. We're in that store. We did a pop up for Mother's Day, which was a huge success. And so, I anticipate that between now and the end of the year, we will have some events, especially, we love to be outside during the summertime. So, if you're within the area, definitely check us out for sure. And of course, our products are truly amazing. As I said earlier, it's not because I work with the brand, but it's because I really am a customer of the brand. So I would say if you have any skin conditions or you're looking to get someone a really great gift just to make their day, as life is life and for all of us right now, Sknmuse is the perfect treat to treat someone to and brighten up their day and to practice some daily self-care.
I love that a lot. I love that a lot. I need to remind myself to order some more Sknmuse, by the way.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Or maybe you could send me your address and I can make sure that Santa Claus puts one in the mail for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do. Chaz, this was delightful. I really appreciate you hopping on the show and really kind of catching up with me.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me. Congratulations on this platform and definitely sending nothing but joy and light your way. Please continue. It's needed.
Man, thanks a lot. All right, I know you're super busy. I don't want to keep up too much of your time. And we'll chat more offline.
Okay, sounds good.